There's something nobody warns Black parents about before we move to the suburbs. It isn't the schools, it's not the crime, it's not the property values. It's what can happen to our children. And I think that we've been having the wrong conversation for years. People love to tell Black parents, move to a better neighborhood, better schools, lower crime. And on paper, they're right. But I don't think we talk enough about what some kids lose in that trade. Because sometimes you can escape the hood, but still feel like you never really belong anywhere. Before anybody starts, no, this is not me saying that every Black kid should grow up in the hood. It's not what I'm saying. And I'm also not saying that suburban Black kids have horrible lives. A lot of them are doing just fine. What I am saying is that there's a conversation that we almost never have, which is the emotional cost of isolation. Growing up, I wasn't poor. I wasn't rich either, but we definitely were not hurting for anything. I spent times with different types of Black people and around different types of Black people. Some from the hood, some from middle class neighborhoods, some from military families, some church folks. I got to see a little bit of everybody. And because of that, I started noticing something. The Black kids who grew up almost exclusively around white kids often carry themselves differently. They talk differently, they date differently, sometimes even apologize for being Black without even realizing it. Not because they hated Black people, but because they spent most of their lives trying to fit into spaces where they were constantly reminded that they are different. Imagine being one of 3 Black kids in an entire graduating class. You hear jokes that nobody else hears. Teachers mix you up with the other Black kid. Every conversation about slavery somehow turns into everyone looking at you. Every conversation about race suddenly becomes your responsibility. And after a while, you learn how to make other people feel comfortable, sometimes at your own expense. But then you get around other Black people and then they think you're white. They call you an Oreo. Black on the outside, white on the inside, right? That joke was never funny. You talk white, you act white, you dress white, you listen to white music. You're bougie, you're trying to be better than everybody else. So now the white kids never completely accepted you either. And neither do the Black kids. And that is a very lonely place to grow up. Parents make these decisions out of love. Nobody moves hoping that their child feels disconnected. We hope for safety, opportunity, stability, a better future, right? But children don't only inherit opportunity, sometimes they inherit isolation. Here's where things get complicated, okay? Most Black parents were never trying to isolate their children. They were trying to protect them. They wanted better schools. They wanted less violence and more opportunity, better chances at college, better jobs, better lives. Every parent wants that, right? But every decision has its trade-offs. We spend a lot of time talking about emotional wealth and financial wealth, generational wealth, property ownership. But what about cultural wealth? Community, identity, feeling like you belong somewhere without having to perform. It's funny because as I'm recording this, I'm literally living out of a hotel, right? I left Tennessee and I'm starting over in Texas. New job, new city, new people. Everything is so incredibly unfamiliar. And maybe that's why this particular topic has been on my mind. Because even though I was a suburb kid a very long time ago and don't even remember that era, but I know what it feels like to be somewhere, but not really feel like you belong just yet. But unlike a hotel, eventually I'm gonna have to unpack. I'm going to build community. I'm going to find my place. My question is, what happens to kids who spend their entire childhood just wanting to unpack? A child can grow up surrounded by success and still grow up disconnected because belonging isn't measured by your zip code. It's measured by whether you know who you are before someone tells you. Isolation doesn't always look lonely. Sometimes it looks like a beautiful neighborhood where nobody looks at you, or a classroom where every conversation about race somehow turns into everyone looking in your direction, or becoming so good at blending in that one day you realize you're not sure which version of yourself is the real one. The older I get, the more I realize that belonging isn't something you find overnight. Sometimes life puts you in places that were only meant to be temporary: a hotel room, a bus station, a city that never really gets the chance to become home. You keep telling yourself, just get through today. Tomorrow will make much more sense, and eventually it does. But while you're in the middle of it, there's a kind of loneliness that doesn't come from being by yourself. It comes from knowing that you're between chapters. Not where you came from anymore, but not quite where you're going either. Maybe that's why this conversation has stayed with me, because whether you're talking about moving across the country or growing up between different worlds, being in transition can feel a lot like being invisible. Okay, so can I be honest for a second? I have no idea what my life is going to look like a month from now. I'm recording this in a hotel room because everything that I own is packed up into well, everything that I own. It's in a storage unit in Tennessee, but the rest of it is packed up in the bags. By the time you're watching this, I'll probably have a routine, maybe some friends. Fingers crossed, an apartment. But now I'm in between. And I think that's why this conversation makes so much sense to me. Because there's a difference between being somewhere temporarily and never feeling like you've ever belonged anywhere at all. Those are not the same things. Look, I don't pretend to have all of the answers. Maybe some Black suburban kid watched this and thought this was not my experience at all. And that's okay. And maybe some others watched this video and felt like someone was finally able to put into words something that they've been carrying their entire lives. And that's okay too. This video wasn't about proving that one way of growing up is better than another. It was about asking ourselves whether we've been measuring success too narrowly. Because success isn't just a bigger house or a better school or a higher income. It's also having a community that knows your name. It's knowing who you are before the world tells you who you're supposed to be. Maybe the goal is just to raise Black children with enough confidence to walk into any room without feeling like they have to leave part of themselves at the door. That's the conversation that I think we should be having. I'll see you in the next one. Oh no, wait, that's not my outro. Like and subscribe or whatever, and join the Patreon. Bye.
And the two of us need look no more. We both found what we was looking for. With a friend to call my own. I'll never be alone. And you, my friend, will see you got a friend in need. Got a friend in need. Ben, you're always running here and there. You'd feel you're not wanted anywhere. If you ever look behind and don't like what you find, there's something you you should know. You got a place to go. Got a place to go. I used to say I am me. Now it's us. Now it's we. Been most people would turn you away. I don't listen to a word they say. They don't see you as I do. I wish they would try to. I'm sure they'd think again if they had a friend like Ben. Like Ben. Like Ben. Ben. Like